Hey folks, Colin here from Sparing Outdoors. On today's upload we are going to make some dandelion honey. So the first thing we're going to have to do is go forage for the dandelions. And as you can see, you don't have too far to go. Right at the back of the house, they're going around the hedges. But I use dandelions quite a lot of the time, usually for teas and broths and things like that. And it's a very useful plant because it has very good qualities. It's actually quite good for you, which I'll put up at the end of the video. But as I said, you can use the roots for making tea, you can use the petals for making tea, you can use the leaves for salads, you can use a lot of the dandelion, so it is quite a useful plant to forage for. And it's one of the most recognisable plants. Even when you're a child, you knew what a dandelion was, so it's quite an easy one to forage for. Now, a wee tip for foraging for dandelions or any food is try and go to places that have been least impacted, mostly by humans. And it just sort of gives you the benefit knowing that, I suppose, the produce that you're picking then has had the least harmful stuff maybe going into them, whether it's pesticides, fertilizers, fumes from cars, whatever. But I'm not saying, I live in quite a rural area and I would forage quite often along the hedgerows or roads. That's because the roads here, they don't get a whole lot of traffic. But if you were, say, a real busy road, I would be a bit hesitant from foraging along a busy road. But I suppose I've been looking at a few studies. There's been some studies that say it's safe and there's some studies that say it hasn't, so it's your own discretion. So try and go to the places that has the least impact from, I suppose, humans, and that's really the best places to forage. So we're going to go now and look. As you can see, she's dandering about with a bag, so we're going to go look for some dandelions and start to make our honey. Good girl. Right folks, before we do the prep, look under my description. That tells you everything you need for this, how to make the honey, so you can go gather it before you watch the full video, but it'll be on the description. But after you've collected your dandelion heads, there's a few methods on how to do it. Now, if you want, you can wash your heads or not wash your heads. If you wash your heads, you're cleaning all the wee nasties and creatures out. That might spoil the honey. Or if you don't wash it, it'll not really matter. You might get some wee nasties in it, but you can leave them out for a while so they can try and crawl away. But some people say if you don't wash them, you maybe get more pollen and stuff, which will add to the flavour. But I've actually washed these because I'm sort of on a time restraint today. I'm babysitting. But anyway, so I've washed them. And then my next method is I put 2 full cups of dandelion heads compressed into this cup and into the pan. Or you can just take the petals only and have 1 cup into the pan. And once you've done that, add 2 cups of water into your pan, along with, I use 2 freshly squeezed lemons. And then we'll put them on the cooker to boil for 15 or 20 minutes and simmer, and leave the lid on. Then we'll move on to the next stage. So that's it all boiled up, folks. That was boiling there for 20 minutes or so. So what I have to do now is get it strained out now. So at this stage I'm going to strain the liquid into this coffee filter into the cup and then transfer it into my new pan to make the honey. And all I'm using is actual coffee filters. Again, you can use a sieve or actual proper filter paper. Again, I'm doing this not directly from boil. I've left it sit for about half an hour to cool down, so it makes it easier to work with. Again, you can leave it sitting overnight, or you can use it instantly, whatever you prefer. But I'm going to use it now. So we'll put it onto this here filter paper and we'll start straining it out to get the liquid. So that's our liquid, that lovely golden liquid. So what I want to do now is I have 2 cups of sugar, and I'll add them gradually and stir it till it dissolves, and then I'll let it sit and simmer on a very low heat until it thickens up a wee bit, and then we'll get to the next stage after that. So that's the 2 cups of sugar added, and it's all dissolved. Now I'll let this boil anything between, or let it simmer on a low heat for maybe, anything between half an hour, 40 minutes to an hour. It just depends on how thick I want it. So we'll let it go to the end till we get to the next stage. Well, that's it, folks. That's it, ready to jar. Now, you'll see in the top of it sometimes I'll get a wee layer, and I just scrape it off and throw it on a plate. It'll not do any harm if it's in it or not, but just to clean it up a bit so it's a nice clear liquid. And how you test your consistency, the longer you boil it, the thicker it's going to get, and the less you boil it, obviously, the more runny it's going to be. So it's really hard to mess it up. If it's runny, you can call it a syrup. If it's a lot thicker, you can call it a honey. So it's really hard to get it wrong. So you just get it with the consistency you want. And the way I test that is, get a spoon, dip a spoon in, a wee spoonful, pour it onto a plate, let it cool down for a lot of minutes, and then just move the plate about, see how fast it runs on the plate, and then get it to the consistency you want. I have this here boiling for about 45 minutes to an hour, and I'm quite happy with this consistency. It's not quite as thick as honey, and it's not quite as runny as syrup, and that's the consistency I was aiming for. So while it's still hot, I'll put it into the jam jars that I've collected. Now, when you clean your jam jars, try and sterilise them if you can. It's just better. I happen to have a baby, so I've got a steriliser. So I sterilise them. It just takes all the impurities out of the jar before you jar your honey. And you try and jar it now while it's nice and warm, because it's easy to get into the jars before it thickens up. So we'll do that here now. So that's it, guys, that's the honey. So I'll let it cool down, and as it cools down it'll get thicker and thicker as it cools till it gets to the stage that that's the thickness it's going to be. And that's pretty much it. I'll leave steps in the description on how to do it, step-by-step information. I'll also leave what you need as well. And if you found this video useful, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're interested. Also, if you have any queries about this or anything on my channel, just leave me a comment and I'll get back to you, usually within the week. And thanks for watching, guys, and enjoy this recipe if you give it a go.